Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Yeah, as you say, we represent 4 million people in the country, and they are antiquated and they need to be changed. Are we saying that MEPs are not on the same stature as MPs for Westminster? I don't believe so. I think, Nigel Farage should be very rightly taking his place at the Cenotaph in London. This is a day when we commemorate and we pay our respect to those who paid the ultimate price for our freedom and democracy. And this isn't very democratic from what I can see.
Now, you've written to the Culture Secretary, I understand, Mr Hookham, John Whittingdale. What have you said in that letter?
Well, I just asked the question of why Mr Farage wasn't taking part. And as you've stated, the rules state that they have to have 6 MPs. We've got 1 MP, but we have 4 million votes. We have 20... Well, we went into the European Parliament with 24 MEPs. And I believe that we have the right to stand there at the Cenotaph. Nigel Farage has the right to be standing shoulder to shoulder with the other political parties.
Have you had a response from Mr Whittingdale?
Yes, he responded back stating what the rules were, and he was saying that there was nothing, no rules would be changed in the future.
So, lastly, I understand that that's clearly the procedure. What are you going to try and do to change it?
Well, I've written now to the Queen asking her, what she thinks of it, if there's any way she could change.
Well, she can't, Mr Hookham, but Mr Hookham, the Queen cannot be seen to intervene in matters such as these. Well,
we have to go to a High Court. I mean, the Queen, we've asked the Queen, and if I have to take it any further, I will take it further.
All right, thank you for that. I don't quite know where you go after the Queen. Perhaps you go to Europe. That would be quite interesting. Would you consider going to a European court, Mr Hookham?
Well, let's play them at their own game. If I have to go to Europe, I'll go to Europe.
All right, OK. Thank you very much, Mike Hookham. You're UKIP MEP and the defence spokesman for the party. Let's get your views on this. Lorna's in Stirling. Lorna, what do you think of the fact that UKIP won't be allowed there on Sunday?
Well, I'm very annoyed. I think it's an absolute disgrace when so many have supported the party.
Yes.
We are now, just as if you put us aside, we're of no account.
Yes, you are a UKIP supporter, are you?
Of course I am, and
yes.
I would like to say that I think Nigel is the most British of them all. He stands up for our country at every turn.
Yes. What is it that appeals to you about UKIP?
I like UKIP because I feel that our borders are open. I don't want my culture, etc., diluted to that extent. I'm not a racist, but having said that, I do think that we should hand our country on to our children and grandchildren.
Yes. We
have found it with the values that we have. And quite frankly, I'm very annoyed about this. I didn't know that this... I am a member of UKIP.
Yes.
I support them in every way, but... yes, I'm very annoyed.
And just lastly, before I let you go, why is it important to you then, I know you're talking about UKIP, but the Cenotaph ceremony, why would it be important for you to see Nigel Farage alongside Tim Farron, Jeremy Corbyn, the Prime Minister? The rules are he needs a certain number of MPs, and he's not got them. He's got 1 MP.
Yes, I understand that, but I think the rules need to be changed. And it's important to me because I've always supported Poppy Day as some of my relations in the past were in the war, and I think that it's very important to have these traditions and to value what these people have done for us. And there's 4 million people voted for UKIP that don't have this opportunity of feeling that we are being represented.
Yep, I think that's very fair, and it's fascinating that you're phoning from Stirling because also the example that's always given, Lorna, is that the SNP got 2.5 million less than UKIP, and yet they get the extraordinary level of representation.
Absolutely, it's a disgrace.
All right,
I'm very annoyed about what's happening in Scotland at the moment.
In a sentence, why are you angry of Scotland at the moment?
I don't like to see a party like the SNP having such power in Scotland.
What is the current mood in Scotland? Is it all for another vote or not?
Well, I don't know, but I don't know what's going to happen in the elections next year. But I don't think that Nicola Sturgeon, speaks for us all. I know she doesn't.
Yes.
But all we seem to hear is SNP, SNP.
Yes, I know. It is very frustrating. All right, thank you for that. It's important, though, to just remind everybody, Lorna, thank you. Have yourself a good weekend. That the rules are, if you have those between 2 and 5 seats are invited to attend, but not to lay a wreath, or even a wreath. If you've got 6 MPs, then, of course, you've got full membership effective. Yes, no UKIP this Sunday at the Cenotaph. All but 4 million votes, just as recently as May. Robert's in Dulwich. How fair is this, Robert?
Hi, Nick. Well, it's ridiculous. Irrespective of whether one is a UKIP supporter or not, we had, like you say, 4 million votes, 1 MP. Nick, I've spoken to you before and talked about how civilizations have come and gone and they sow the seeds of their own destruction. This is a democratic deficit, isn't it? That people aren't being represented properly. And Nick Clegg, when Nick Clegg had the AV vote, he bored everyone to death so much that they just keep the same system. I mean, it's ridiculous.
You're talking about a man I spent 2.5 years working with. Can't say bored everyone to death.
Well, he's your pal, not mine. Look, Nick, let me ask you a question. When people call in, ask them, which leader do you think would best serve the armed forces in this country? Do you think Farage would send soldiers to Afghanistan in Land Rovers getting blown up left, right and centre, or Gordon Brown sending them abroad with radios that didn't work? Nigel Farage wouldn't do that, and yet he's not going to be there. Look, it's a democratic deficit. The EU underrepresents people. The British aren't represented in Parliament. If this carries on, well, we're sowing the seeds of our own destruction.
Thanks, Robert. Let's get more of your views on this. Linda is in Hounslow. Linda, do you think it's fair or not?
No, I don't. I think it's very, very unfair indeed. I mean, I'm a supporter of UKIP. And I knew that this was going to happen. I said to the family, I'm sure that they will make certain that Nigel isn't there. And I'm furious about it. Because as you say, he represents 4 million voters. And I feel it's absolutely disgraceful.
Thank you for that. Colin's in Slough. Colin, are you equally angered?
I'm angered, Nick. But I'm angered because UKIP and Farage are hijacking Remembrance Day.
Oh, don't be ridiculous.
Of course they are, Nick.
One senior UKIP member writes to John Whittingdale. How on earth is that calling hijacking the day?
Because you're discussing it on national radio.
They have every right to be aggrieved. Listen to what all but you, and I'm just quickly go through emails.
I don't care if it's all but me. This is my view, and listen to me.
I'll listen briefly to you, yes.
Okay, 4 million people voted for UKIP. 40 million people didn't. They're represented there by their elected representatives.
Yes.
The majority voted for.
Yes, but you've heard...
It's not all about UKIP.
You've heard some of the callers, hopefully, who've said that they believe that their man should be there, and there are millions like them.
Yeah, because they're kippers. They're indoctrinated in the Farage must be everywhere. He couldn't even get elected in Thanet, for goodness sake.
No, he didn't.
Who did he represent?
Sorry, what was that last bit? So I didn't get what you said. What was the last sentence?
Farage can't even be elected as an MP.
No, you're right. But you just think then...
You know, just for UKIP to be on national radio phoning in, oh, it's a disgrace. No, the disgrace is this is about UKIP getting in the news, getting Farage promoted as normal.
All right. Well, it's a view. Let's see if others agree with you. Thank you for that. No UKIP on Sunday down at the Cenotaph. Madeline's in Kingston, 4 million votes, no leader. How fair is that?
I'm very upset about it. He's the only genuine person that speaks for the British people who want to remain British.
Well, hang on. Whoa. Labour supporters would probably think their man does, and Lib Dems might think that their man does.
No, they don't. They want to become Europeans.
Well,
Nigel's the only one that wants the British to remain British.
I see.
The others all want to become Europeans.
Right. So the rules need to be changed?
I think so, definitely, yes.
All right, Madeline, thank you.
I've been getting